If your wife submits to you when you are broke, that doesn't mean you should remain broke. In fact, it should be a motivation for you to work harder and ensure that you become financially prosperous so that you can compensate that woman who submits to you in times of crisis. Welcome to another episode of Relationship Clinic with Pastor Bode Thomas. Today we are looking at a very sensitive topic that says, should a wife submit to her husband who is not providing for the house? Well, primarily, this is a very, very sensitive question. And let's start from the offensive. A man does not need submission from his wife because he's providing for the house. And who told you that a man must provide for his house? I keep saying it. We have left the era of African slavery and dark mentality where an African father gives birth to sons and daughters and send the sons to school and asks the daughters to sit at home, that when they grow up, it is a man that will provide for them. The reason why a woman goes to school and a man goes to school is that both of them become responsible adults. If you marry a man, it must be primarily for several other reasons apart from financial ability. If financial ability is part of the reasons why you marry a man, then you will think your submission is based on his ability to provide. The Bible says, wives, submit to your own husband. Husband, love your wife. So let's start again from another angle of the offense. If a woman does not know how to cook, if a woman is not providing, should a man love her? Now, that brings us to another level. Why would a man and a woman live together in holy matrimony? What is the primary role of a man over a woman? Three major roles. Number one is to provide leadership. Number two is to provide covering. And number three is to provide comfort. Now, a wife is obligated to submit to her own husband in the Lord, even when the man is not doing one of the three responsibilities or not doing any of the three responsibilities. And that's why it's very important for you to understand the principle of marriage before you get into one. If you are not married, I congratulate you, because now you have all your senses activated to be able to observe. What do you want from a man? If a man can provide leadership, then submit to him. If a man understands the concept of covering, whether spiritual covering, emotional covering, then submit to him. Should a man provide for his family? Yes. Should a man be submitted to because he provides for his family? No. Should a man be submitted to simply because he's a husband? Yes. In the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, I know many of you would have been thinking about this passage of the Bible that says anyone who does not provide for his family has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. And I want you to also know that the exegesis breakdown of that chapter is never talking to a man, but is talking to both men and women. Every adult must be able to provide for their own home. And mind you, the concept of marriage is broken down if a wife refuses to submit to her husband. The concept of marriage is broken down if a husband refuses to provide leadership for the home. A man will provide for the home. I am providing for my home. And don't think for 1 second that I'm trying to justify the irresponsibilities of men. I do not like men who are irresponsible. I do not like them at all. In every counseling session, a man must understand that part of the responsibility of maturity is ability to be able to provide spiritual covering, emotional covering, and financial covering. But while a man is at it, while a man is making every effort to ensure that things fall in place for him, there are situations men may not be able to help. And it happens to the best of men. If a man is unable to provide at the moment, that does not withdraw from the table the submission card of his wife. In fact, at such times, the man becomes highly sensitive and needs more of submission from his wife, especially in those times when he cannot provide. And what would that bring for the woman on the long run? When a man is respected, when a man feels like a leader, even when he is not financially buoyant, it will motivate him to do more for the same family. Ruling out the exceptional men who chose to be willingly irresponsible. We're talking about men who are circumstantially unable to provide. Every wife must understand that if your biological father fails to provide for the home, he doesn't cease to be your biological father. Most women would honor their father even in his lowest financial state. But why can't they do the same for their husband, who is also a man? particularly your husband, who has a longer future of changing the narrative of his financial condition. Every wife, if you cannot submit to a man, don't marry him. If you cannot submit to your husband, you have no business in marriage. Marriage is for women who can submit to a man. Live as a single for the rest of your days. It is not by force to get married, but if you must get married, a man must be your covering. Well, that is gender bias. How could a man be my covering? Well, if you didn't grow up in a proper family, should you make your children suffer the same? If you feel like you don't need a man in your life, then don't have children. Then nobody will disturb you. The society will let you be by yourself, living a life of singleness for the rest of your life. But if you must submit to the concept of marriage, I am talking to those who honor God and believe the principle of marriage according to the Bible. So don't be offended if this is not your standpoint or your belief system. If you are a child of God and believe the Bible is given to us for correction and for guideline, then instruction in the Bible says every wife must submit to their own husband. Find a point in that man you can submit to. If he is not financially buoyant, he is not absolutely useless. Now, most women will not understand the value of their husband until the man dies. That's when they realize that it is not just about the financial provision. He's a good father to our children. This man is the one who gives it to me very hot in the bedroom. Is the same man whose presence makes your neighbor reference you. Don't forget that that man that is broke is a man after all, and there are privileges around that man apart from financial ability. Am I saying or am I downplaying the role of financial ability? Not at all. It is an icing on the cake if a man is financially buoyant. And let me speak to men briefly. If your wife submits to you when you are broke, that doesn't mean you should remain broke. In fact, it should be a motivation for you to work harder and ensure that you become financially prosperous so that you can compensate that woman who submits to you in times of crisis. And mark my word, there is no woman that is naturally wired to suffer all her life. Women are designed to enjoy life. By their physique, you could tell that they are designed to be flexible. They are designed to be soft. They are designed to be pampered. If you get submission from your wife when you are broke, count it all joy and let that motivate you to work harder and become financially successful. And when that happens in your life, make sure you spoil that woman. Take good care of her. Love her and cherish her. That's not the time to start looking for another woman that is younger than her. If a woman suffers with you, the consequence of the suffering is that she will look older than you. And you must appreciate that look. Never complain about it. Because now that God has blessed you, the journey of a man is different from the journey of a woman. The journey of a woman, she starts from the peak of her beauty and begin to, the law of diminishing return begin to set in. But for a man, the man starts from the lowest state of his life. And as he grows old, is like a fine wine. So your wealth increases as you grow old. Make sure that you never forget the face of your wife the day you married her. She must always look fresh to you. And that's why the Bible says that you should be contented with the wife of your youth. When your wife is 80 years old, she is still the wife of your youth. Why? Because in your mind, she never grew older than 24. And if you have that mentality, you will never maltreat a woman who submits to you. The reason why women are revolting about submission is not simply because they are wired to be rebellious. No, every woman wants to submit to a man. But are you trustworthy enough for a woman to submit to? Even when we say that a woman must submit to you unconditionally, do you think you deserve the submission? Jesus paid a huge price and died for the church. So the church automatically submits to Christ because of the sacrifice of Christ. What is your sacrifice over your wife? What is your sacrifice over your family? Do you think you deserve eternal submission? If your answer is yes, then it means you are a responsible man and your head is correct. But if your answer is no, that no matter what happens, I don't need to do anything, my wife will just submit to me, well, you are at the other side of the category, which I don't want to mention. But every woman must understand that for a marriage to be balanced, there can't be two leaders. There can't be two heads. Hence, we have a monster. There must be one head and there must be the other person who is supporting from the side, not from the back, but from the side, and ensuring that they keep cheering up the head to do excellently well. Imagine the entire human body. We have the brain, which is the central nervous system, and we have the heart. Picture a wife as the heartbeat of the home and picture the husband as the brain of the home. Don't expect the heart to do the works of the brain. And don't ridicule the brain because it's not financially buoyant. I call you blessed as you understand this concept. God bless you. We'll see you again in the next episode when we talk about something interesting about marriage. If your marriage must work, you must submit to your husband. If your marriage must work, you must love your wife. God bless you.